Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's edition of Black Health Trust. We are so happy that you chose to spend this time with us, and we're going to jump right into this interesting topic. I will turn it over without further ado to our founder, Dr. Randall Maxey.
Thank you very much, Dr. Barbara Neighbor-Stevens. So we've talked about a lot of very serious, sometimes disturbing talks for the past few months. We've talked about the guidelines for hypertension and how the silent disease can kill you. Many people still think that a blood pressure of 140/80 is good, but Dr. Kara Watson reminded us that it needs to be under 120/80. And evidence does show that you can live longer, have less strokes, less heart attacks, if those numbers are followed. Last week, we had a lecture from a dentist talking about the oral consequences of infection in your gums, your periodontal areas. And we learned a lot about how your oral health can affect your overall health, including your brain, cognition, your heart, your kidneys, and your lungs. And we know that right now the government is shut down. We know people are not getting their much needed SNAP benefits for their children and families to eat. And we know that just this week, 2 federal judges ruled that the federal government had to use a contingency fund of some $5+ billion to feed people. But the government still is asking for clarification on how do we not follow that judge's orders and what will allow us to feed people. So I want to look at something a little bit different today and try to have a little bit of fun in the meantime and talk about Halloween and what it means culture-wise and have some fun with it, and also what to be careful for. And if my co-moderators would help me on some of these slides, I'd appreciate it. Simon, please put up the first slide.
Dr. Maxey, you do know your video's not on.
I will fix that in just a moment. Can you see my beautiful face now?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, you can see me. Yes, it's beautiful.
Yes.
So our topic for today is spooky health tales around the world. And we're talking about faith, fear, and funny bones. It's a Halloween discussion on health, safety, and culture, a cultural celebration of healing and humor. Let's go to the next slide. So the physiology of humor and laughter is very important. And how laughter can help the brain, the bodies, and our souls. And Dr. Walsh went to church today, so I'm sure his soul is on fire in a good way. Next slide. So all the way from Africa to the Americas, laughter and faith have long been healing powers. A cheerful heart is good medicine. That's what I think Proverbs 17:22 says, Dr. Walsh. I don't know if they read that today in church. Next slide. So why does laughter matter? We know that laughter lowers blood pressure. We talked about that, how it boosts immunity and releases endorphins. And those are things that give you a rewarding effect. It affects the ventral median nucleus of the brain. So we grow young each time we laugh. Next slide. So would you talk about this, Dr. Neighbor-Stevens?
So why should we talk about Halloween and health? Halloween mixes fear, fun, and physiology by stimulating the brain and the heart. Across cultures, we find similar festivals connecting family, grief, and health. Our goal is to celebrate safely, respect traditions, and protect community wellness.
Okay, let's go to the next slide. So, Dr. Walsh, please take this one.
The science of fear and the body. Fear triggers adrenaline and cortisol, raising heart rate and focus. Short-term fear can be fun, can be exciting. Chronic fear is stress, can result in insomnia and immune system suppression.
So, this is sort of a conundrum, Dr. Walsh. How would we discuss short term can be good, but long term chronic fear is not good? Is that what it says?
That's exactly what that says, Dr. Maxey. And for me, what that means is my granddaughter reminded me today that she likes to play hide and seek. But she doesn't play regular hide and seek. She plays hide and seek where when you get near, she'll jump out and scare you.
Hmm.
That's short-term fear, fun, excitement, when she jumps out and yells at you. But if you're walking around your house concerned that you are in an abusive relationship and you're afraid for your safety, long term, that can cause stress, can make it hard for you to sleep. And from a physiologic perspective, it absolutely impacts your immune system so that you're more susceptible to getting sick from other things that will come and get you. So short-term fear, fun, granddaughter jumping out saying boo, chronic fear, fear of not being able to eat because the SNAP program is not funded. There are a lot of things that can cause us to be uncomfortable for a long period of time. None of them are good.
Thank you very much. Let's go to the next slide, Simon. So we know that laughter is a universal human reflex, that everybody laughs 10 to 20 times or more a day, and you laugh more in groups than when you're alone. And it's rooted in play and bonding. We don't stop laughing because we grow old. We grow old because we stop laughing. That Miss Dr. Neighbor Dr. Lawson was this, right?
I don't see Dr. Lawson as yet, Dr. Maxey.
Okay, Dr. Neighbor Stevens.
Okay. Next slide, Simon, please. What is humor? Recognizing the unexpected or incongruent, a cognitive emotional process that sparks pleasure, influenced by culture and surprise. In
Now,
medicine,
go
in,
ahead.
in medicine, timing isn't just for CPR, it's for punchlines too.
So I went to Thailand a few years ago, many years ago, to give some lectures to the medical society there. And I was told, don't tell a joke to people who don't speak your language. I told what I thought was the funniest joke, and fell totally flat. So let's go to the next slide. Dr. Walks.
The brain on humor. The prefrontal cortex detects incongruity. The limbic system processes emotion. Hypothalamus triggers the laughter reflex. You wind up with dopamine, endorphins, and serotonin. And Dr. Maxey, if I'm not mistaken, these are the things that we're trying to give people medicine so they have more of. That
That's
whole
correct.
dopamine, endorphin, serotonin thing. So maybe we can just make them laugh. How about that?
There you go. And there's a
Yes,
joke.
even
Yeah.
the lions have funny bones. They just call them axons.
Ha ha ha.
Was that, Dr. Maxey, was that the joke you told in Thailand?
Yeah. My laugh. That's number seven. Take the next one, please. Go to the next.
Physiology of laughter. Laughter activates 15 facial muscles. It boosts oxygen and heart rate. It relaxes muscles. It burns approximately 40 calories per 15 minutes of laughing. So technically, your favorite comedy show counts as cardio.
Okay.
Here's one for you, Dr. Wonks. Next one.
Neurochemical effects. Okay. Dopamine, pleasure and reward. Endorphin, pain relief. Serotonin, mood elevation. Cortisol decrease, stress reduction. Same system that lights up when you find a hospital parking spot. Woo! Absolutely.
It goes to the
Well,
next one.
of course, Dr. Max, you know that whether you work at the hospital or not, you're supposed to go in the physician parking, right?
Yep, that's true. That's true. I always do. Okay.
You may
So
take
we know
laughter in the
that,
heart.
yeah, laughter, I'll do that one. Laughter in the
Okay.
heart improves vascular function, increases my favorite topic, nitric oxide. It reduces inflammation and lowers blood pressure. There's a cardiologist who walked into a bar and orders a double bypass burger with iron. That's supposed to be funny, I guess. Next slide. That's neighbor Stevens.
Immunity and laughter. Laughter boosts natural killer cells and antibodies, reduces stress hormones, improves immunity. Laughing boosts your immune system, yet insurance won't cover Netflix.
You were talking about Netflix earlier. Let's go to take the next one to that, Stevens.
Psychological benefits. Laughter reduces anxiety and depression, improves mood, sleep, and creativity. A therapist. What do you say when life gives us lemons? Patient, add vodka and call it comedy.
I don't have to laugh with my jokes. Dr. Walks.
Humor in healthcare. Humor in healthcare improves communication, decreases pain perception, strengthens teamwork. Told my doctor I broke my arm in 2 places. He told me to stop going to those places.
Okay.
I'm laughing with you, Dr. Maxwell.
Okay. So continued medical humor. A pharmacist said, "We're out of Prozac." You know about that, Dr. Walks. Try comedy instead. There's an emergency room motto that says, "To err is human, to triage is divine." In a hospital waiting room is where time stands still.
Yes.
Next slide. You want to take this, that's neighbor Stephen?
Origins of Halloween in the U.S. Rooted in the Celtic Samhain, marking transition from harvest to winter. Adopted as All Hallows Eve in Christian Europe. Modern Halloween blends tradition, imagination, and health awareness.
Next slide, Dr. Walks.
African American healing humor. From pulpit to barbershop, humor is medicine. I told my doctor I can't afford that prescription. He said, laughter is free. We laugh at pain to remember we're still here. Child ate 30 Snickers. Jesus said 5,000. I was just helping. Lessons. Miracles don't apply to sugar intake. Okay. I'm gonna have to circle back to that one, Dr. Maxley. It's passing me.
Okay, next slide, son.
African wisdom and humor. Okay. Yoruba. If you cannot laugh at yourself, your enemies will do it for you. Okay. Congo. Goat that eats yam must bring money for the medicine. Okay. Lesson. Moderation and humility heal. I like that.
In Jamaica, which is in the Caribbean, when me laugh, me live longer. There's a Trini elder from Trinidad. Me pressure high, but me vibes higher.
Mm.
The positive spirit strengthens heart rhythm. Take the next one, that's Neighbor Stevens, if you would.
The emergency room, I'm sorry, and
Which,
the haunted Fitbit. A witch fainted at party. Crowd yells. Possession. Diagnosis. Dehydration and tight corset. Lesson.
Okay.
Stay hydrated and loosen up your blessings. A man thinks a ghost is chasing him. His heart rate goes up to 160 beats a minute. Diagnosis. Espresso candy and jump scares. Lesson. Don't ghost didn't do it. Caffeine did.
Mm.
Dr. Walker, take this one.
Caribbean church. Pastor ate rum cake. I was slain in the spirit of Bacardi. You know what? I'm going to tell the pastor that you put this in here, Dr. Maxton. Lesson, read your labels, even at the church bake sale. Those who have never had black cake don't know that sometimes you need to eat it sitting down. So next slide, please.
So, African American family humor. Grandma, if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. That sounds like, but that's a neighbor. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Auntie says, they're not tired. You're dehydrated and ungrateful. Drink water and give thanks. That's Neighbor Stevens.
Zombie jogger. Man limbs groaning. Leg day. Lesson. Even zombies need stretching and hydration.
My goodness.
Dr. Walker.
Kids say the healthiest thing. Jesus heals people. My mom uses Band-Aids. He's an angel. Oh. Doctor handwriting? They should type their prayer. Do that.
That's me. The cross-cultural light. Yoruba, laugh and live longer. In Jamaica, stress less, dance more. In Haiti, guard your soul. In Mexico, celebrate ancestors. African Americans, laugh through struggle, rise again. That's Neighbor Stevens.
African ancestral festivals. Yoruba Igangan or Nigeria, mass dancers honor ancestors. Congo remembrance rites, candles, songs, spiritual cleansing, health meaning, ritual and ancestry foster community, belonging, and emotional healing.
I heard today that our country, the USA, is threatening war in Nigeria. So I don't know what we expect of that coming up. So in Haiti, in the Caribbean, the zombies and spirit. So Haitian voodoo zombies symbolize the loss of free will, not horror. It's a possible link to neurotoxins, tetrodotoxin. It represents spiritual disconnection and the need for healing and justice. I hear they use that stuff from a puffer fish to make you seem like you're dead. Your heart slows down to almost imperceptible and you seem like you're dead, but you're not, so I'm told. Dr. Walks? Dr. Neighbor, I'm sorry.
Mexico's Dia de los Muertos, November 1st and 2nd. Families honor ancestors with ofrendas, altars, and favorite foods. It teaches love, remembrance, and acceptance of death, celebrates continuity of life, and connection across generations. Okay.
Take this next one, Dr. Stevens.
South American and Caribbean traditions. Brazil, Festa de Finados, flowers and prayers at graves. Peru, Dia de los Difuntos, music, food, and remembrance. Jamaica, Nine Night, 9-day wake, blending mourning and joy. Health values, social bonding, and resilience.
Okay, take the next one too, Dr. Stephen, if you would.
Food, candy, and allergies. Top allergens: nuts, milk, eggs, soy, wheat, and chocolate. Tips: read labels, separate safe candy, carry EpiPen. Support Teal Pumpkin Project for allergy-safe treats. Moderate sugar for better energy and sleep.
Okay. Take the next one too, if you would.
Child and community safety. Use reflective clothing and flashlights. Adult supervision for children. Inspect treats before eating. Avoid offensive costumes. Keep pets indoors. And teach emergency contacts.
Okay. Dr. Walsh, take the next one.
Cultural respect and identity. Costumes are creative expression which can offend if misused. Encourage positive role models, scientists, doctors, heroes. Teach empathy and respect for global cultural symbols.
Did you take the next one, Barbara? That's neighbor Stephen.
Makeup, mask, and skin health. Test products before use. Avoid lead-based paints. Remove makeup gently and moisturize the skin. Avoid unprescribed contact lenses. Ensure children's costumes allow breathing and comfort. And just if I may add, just this week there was a recall on the Neutrogena makeup remover clause. So
Wow.
just be careful.
Dr. Walsh, take the next one, please.
Mental and emotional wellness. Festivals of remembrance promote healing and reflection. Too much horror exposure can heighten anxiety in children. Balance fun with meaning to nurture emotional stability. Next slide.
Want to take the next one, Dr. Walsh?
Okay. Global health lessons. Celtic, renewal, and rest matters. Yoruba/Congo, ethics. Connection heals. Haitian voodoo. Spirit, trauma recovery. Mexican, family unity, grief processing. Jamaican, music and community, social resilience. A lot of which is needed in Jamaica right now after hurricane came through.
Neighbor Stephen, you want to do the take-home tips?
Take home tips. Eat safely and watch for allergens in your trick or treat booty. Celebrate with respect. Keep fear fun, not harmful. Rest, connect, and reflect. Build health through community.
Go ahead with that. Next one.
Take home health wisdom. Laugh daily, rest and pray. Eat moderately, hydrate and dance. Respect cultures. Keep humor strong. It's your immune system's ally.
So the closing message is to honor the living. We must respect the dead and care for those still among us. Thanks for joining our global journey to fun and health. Thank you very much, everybody. Any comments or questions?
I have a question for Dr. Walks, if I may. I heard a conversation with an author of a recently released book, and I didn't write the name down, so I can't tell you the author or the name of the book. But it was talking about how during COVID, the rate of horror films production and watching and post-COVID has reached levels unheard of. And the discussion was that the opinion was that watching these horror flicks help people to work through and relieve some of the anxiety and fear they were experiencing during COVID, and I guess post-COVID, what we're living through. Any comments or explanation? Did I take that message correctly, Dr. Walks?
Well, Dr. Neighbor Stevens, without the book or the author, I'm going to say that that your question absolutely is a reasonable question. I don't know what the author thought in the book. I know that putting something else in your brain that may be less personal, that may be more fantasy, certainly can be very distracting from things that are challenging. When I get stressed out, I watch old Twilight Zone episodes, the original Twilight Zone with Rod Serling. Anyone that doesn't know Rod Serling's background should really read. He's an amazing human, and the way that he writes, so that he writes about the human condition in those stories in the Twilight Zone, and why some of them actually inspired, he said, inspired by the horrible murder of Emmett Till. So real interesting how he would put things that are in these mystery and horror type stories, but build them from stuff that he experienced. Had a lot of PTSD, Rod Serling did. So I think that when you look at people trying to escape from what trying to kill them right in their own neighborhood, right in their own family, something's trying to kill them, I think that it's entirely reasonable. I also think that we have to build in opportunities to talk about the things that stress us, so that when I finish watching my classic Twilight Zone episode from 1962 or whatever, it started in 59, I can come back and talk. Maybe I can relax a little bit and then be able to talk about the things that are bothering me right now. So, yeah. And the other thing is, the next person that tells me when we were in COVID, I'm going to get my COVID shot tomorrow and my flu shot tomorrow. I have them scheduled. There are still people dying from COVID. We are no longer in the COVID pandemic emergency, but COVID continues to ravage communities of color in particular, and people who are less young and who have other chronic conditions. Yeah, COVID's still here. Still here. I COVID.
Yes, it is. So, staying with you for a minute, Dr. Walks, and then Dr. Stephen, we have a lot of conditions going on now, in addition to COVID, with people being fired, or even people who are not fired, not getting paid their benefits, being able to, they're getting evicted from their apartments and other places. What are some good coping skills that we need to talk to people about?
So, Dr. Mackey, I talk to those people a lot. You know, I'm here in the DC area. I talk to people that have every single step along that continuum of folks over the last several months. I've talked to them, and what I share with them is that the ones who have lost their jobs, been laid off with these RIFs or what have you, and lost their income, I try to encourage them to focus on what is needed at the moment. For example, this may be your first time going to the food bank or going to your local church to ask for some help. Our church has set up a weekly grocery store where people donate stuff and it's put on shelves. People walk through the grocery store at the church, pick up what they need, and take it out. They don't have to pay anything, but it's like going to the grocery store, except you don't have to pay. So there are probably things like that. Not probably, there are things like that in many communities across the country where folks have to swallow your pride a little bit, whatever that's worth, however it takes. Swallow your pride, look for resources in your community, because you've got to feed your family. And if your job has been taken away, there are other opportunities to do that. So first of all, put what you need to do first and go to the food bank, go to your church, go and ask for help. Today, there was a woman sitting outside a church under a tree with her little kid. We went, myself and a couple of the other guys went out to ask her, was she okay? and she was just sitting there. So we brought her inside and gave her some food and gave her some money and told her where, we thought some places where she could go. So go where you think people might be able to help you. Go to a local church, go to some other places, and don't underestimate what else may be in the community. There are a lot of resources in communities. There are different offices, there are different not-for-profit, non-governmental organizations you can go to. The big thing is don't sit down and do nothing. Don't let it crush you and overwhelm you. My favorite little thing to share with people when I feel it's appropriate, which is almost all the time, is yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Nothing about that says you ain't got to walk through the valley. Nothing about that says it's going to be a nice place. It what it shares is that you're not alone if you're walking through the valley. And it's a huge thing to feel like you are not alone, especially when times are hard. So yeah, lost your job, a lot of things people are losing right now. Reach out where you can get some help. Do that. The second thing I tell folks to do is find something to do with your time. If you are at home because you've been ripped or because you can't work during the layoff right now, there's a place you can go. In fact, there's a church I know where it'd be nice if you went and helped at the grocery store. so that when people come in and they're picking up groceries, there's someone to help them put things in a bag. There's someone to help them to get stuff taken out to where they can go. The place where I live, we are collecting little gift cards to give to one of the local elementary schools. Now, if you don't have money for a gift card, maybe you can pick up the gift card and take them to the elementary school. Maybe you can pick them up from some neighbors who may be able to order gift cards. Maybe you can pick up some money for the gift card and help somebody order the gift card. I think that this is a long way of saying something very simple. There are things that we can do. When we think there's nothing we can do, the worst thing we can do is to do nothing. Find a way of taking whatever blessings you have, whether it's your time, your tools, your talent, your treasure, and sharing it in a way. You are robbing yourself of a blessing when you don't try to do something to help make the community a little bit better. I know you wanted a short answer, Dr. Maxey. I don't have any of those. I got 17 more points to make, but I'm going to stop there.
The key point that you bring up, and we talked about today, is the value of community and how that being part of community, supporting other people and yourself, and also using humor and connection helps the whole process. That's Neighbor Stevens. You deal with a lot of children and they're going through these effects too. What do you see there and how do you talk to them and their parents?
Well, children are not dumb, and they are very sensitive. So the combination of their awareness and their intuitiveness means that you need to be honest. The best thing that parents can do when they're in a difficult situation, to the appropriate level of development for the child, explain what's going on and tell them what the plan is. Because if you can maintain your if you can not be panicked and therefore not transmit that feeling of panic to the child, they'll do fine. But if you're panicked and distraught, then the child is going to pick up on that right away and will exhibit signs and symptoms of that as well. So that is the line of conversation that I have with the parents. Now, with the child, now if they should say something to me, and sometimes I've had kids that ask me very direct questions like, "Do I have HIV?" I never lie. I try to respond in a level that's appropriate to their development and understanding. In this situation that we're in now, where there may be severe food insecurity, my response to the child would be, there are some resources. We're going to get through this. Because I feel confident that I'm not lying, because I'm aware of some of the resources available in the community. Conversely, if we ever had a situation where I honestly felt like, I'll give you an example. If I had been in Jamaica and my child or a child said to me, are we going to die? My response is, again, age appropriate. Um, we in some way or another, I will say, we will all die. What you want to know is, are we getting ready to die now? And none of us know the answer to that. But we're doing A, B, C, D, and E to make ourselves as safe as we possibly can in this situation.
That's very, very good advice. One of the things that goes through the theme of everything we talked about today is most cultures have an anchor that they hold on to, a belief system. Many of us happen to be Christian. Some people have other faiths, but it's important to have some type of anchor in your life that you believe in, you have faith in, and that's part of how we approach adversity. Would you comment on that, Dr. Walks and Dr. Neighbor-Stephens?
I'm happy to comment comment on that, Dr. Walk. Let me, let, let me say this, Dr. Maxey. I'm laughing because to me, this this anchor in my faith thing has been something that I take for granted. I'm very active in my church, as you always call me out, Dr. Maxey. And it's a blessing to know that I'm never alone. It's a blessing to know that that I have supernatural grace, that I believe that there's a plan for my life. I believe that it also makes it hard for me to lay down and do nothing because I think I'm supposed to have a purpose. So there's this double-edged sword of having this this culture that is there for you to lean on and these values that you lean on. And at the same time, it motivates you to not only sit back and lean on it and feel I'm blessed and highly favored. No, you are supposed to be about the work. And I will say this, I have many friends who are from other faiths. One of my best friends, then Muslim, I've known him since we were little boys. He's still Muslim. One of my best friends says he doesn't believe in any of that stuff. And one of my really good friends is a Jew. And I think that I'm comfortable with people that believe in something because it anchors them, it gives them a value system. It's challenging for me, and I have patients that I see who resist any sort of a higher power designation or any sort of a supernatural covering. And I think it's harder for those folks. So yeah, I think being a part of a faith community is important. In the chat was a comment about serving people in the community. I've said this many times before. One of my best friends says, if you want to be in God's business, you got to be in the people business because God is in the people business.
That's very, very important. That's Neighbor Stephen, any thoughts on the same thing?
I think that not that I think I agree 100% with the comments that Dr. Walks made, but what I've been thinking about is what I perceive to be a rising tide in people not having anchors. And that's occurring for lots of reasons. And it's across generations. I have some thoughts about what it may be contributing to this, and we've talked a little bit about this in the past. But yeah, it does. it is a whole lot easier to face trial and tribulation when you got an anchor than when you don't.
Hmm. Are there any comments? Anybody we should unmute in the chat of our attendees have a comment? I'm going to take the liberty of calling Miss Taylor, who was talking earlier. Can you unmute Miss Taylor?
I knew you were going to call on me. Anyhow, good afternoon. Yes, I was the person who commented in the chat that I just love serving people in our community. I'm sure a lot of it has had to do with not only my faith, specifically my Christian faith, but the way that I was raised by my parents and grandparents, etc. Some of you may recall that I have mentioned in the past that I am the product, as with Dr. Walks and Dr. Barbara Neighbert Stevens, of a few generations of pastors in the Christian faith. So as they say, I am a PK and a GPK, Grand Preacher's Kid, as well. But yeah, I think we all need to remember that it's how important it is to serve others, especially if you've been blessed growing up and also as an adult with previous employment and good education, et cetera, et cetera. It's about, again, serving others, those less fortunate. And that's why I, for many years now, and still have, had both a personal and professional commitment to giving back specifically to underserved populations within our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr.
You're
Dawes,
welcome.
on? Is Dr. Dawes on?
I did not see Dr. Dawes, Dr. Maxey, and I know that I was talking with someone earlier today that was having a lot of trouble connecting from Jamaica, depending on the area on the island. Some places were really badly devastated.
Any other comments in the chat? Well, we're close to the top of the hour. I think we've covered a lot, and we want everybody to have an anchor of some type. We've talked about the importance of community and being dedicated to that. We've talked about the good physiological benefits of humor, and it's good to have some humor in a time such as this. It's important to do that. It affects your blood pressure, your immune system. Still get your shots, though, despite that. And we know that, as Dr. Neighbor Stevens said, that laughter can be a form of cardio. So laugh, and you do it in a community, you laugh more when you're with people than when you're by yourself. And Dr. Walsh, I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing with you. And we enjoy that. Let's say a final comment for today, Dr. Walsh.
My final comment for today, Dr. Maxey, is that some of us talk a lot about leading by example, and I just want to commend you for leading by example. Being able to be internationally respectful and being able to be someone who brings humor to something very, very serious. We know you MD, PhD, BSD, all of that, and at the same time, you're very personable and you're very community focused. And I want to just commend you for being someone who is able to look across the broad breadth of international medicine and international resources and bring us a program like this where we can, talk to people. Hey, you know what? You better get your funny on because it's good for you. It's good for you. So I just want to thank you, Dr. Maxey, for doing that.
Thank you, Dr. Walsh. Dr. Barbara Davis Stevens.
Well, my closing thoughts today are centered around the many challenges that we do face,
Mm.
but I am convinced that we will not only survive, but we will thrive. But it requires action.
Yep.
Amen to that. And my final comment for today. I wish everybody a good rest of their Sunday afternoon. The Los Angeles Dodgers won the World Series. I'm going to ask Simon who's going to win the Super Bowl. And I'm going to watch, what's his name, Bad Bunny or somebody do the halftime show coming up. And we'll be back next week. And everybody have a great Sunday and laugh and be community with your family. Amen. Have a great day. Simon, thank you.
Good day,
Bye,
everyone.
everybody.